Alright, real talk. What is the value of life? Yeah, I know, we're starting heavy, but stick with me, cause this is one of those questions that'll keep philosophers and many of you up at night. We're diving into Stoicism, ancient wisdom, and real talk about how this debate still shapes society today. But unlike most videos out there, we're not here to make you think like us. Our goal is to show you how some of history's greatest minds landed on different sides, so you can use your newfound Stoic mindset to form your own opinion. So grab a seat, clear your mind, and let's get into it. Oh, and while you're here, hit that like button, you know, for the algorithm gods. And with that, I turn you over to Mr. Professional Narrator Guy. Talk to you again at the end of the video.
What is the value of life? A question that has puzzled philosophers for centuries. This simple yet profound inquiry has been at the heart of numerous debates, discussions, and dialogues throughout human history. It has given birth to a wide array of philosophical theories that have tried to delve into the essence of life, its purpose, and its value. In this discussion, we will explore these theories further, enriched by scientific facts and data about life, the miracle of birth, and the sheer statistical improbability of our existence. The question of life's value has been explored by numerous civilizations and cultures, from the ancient Greeks to modern philosophers of the 21st century. The Greeks and Romans, for example, already held two diametrically opposing views. The Epicureans proposed that the primary objective of life was the pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain, an approach that resonates with the science of our DNA, a structure composed of over 3 billion base pairs, each working to enhance our ability to experience life's pleasures. Conversely, Stoicism is more nuanced. The Stoics emphasized a life of virtue and moral integrity. Pillars of Stoicism included living in accordance with the laws of nature and our own moral compass. Stoicism also proposed that the value of life was not dependent on external factors or circumstances, but our choices. For the Stoics, life's value was defined by the strength of one's character and their ability to remain true to themselves in the face of adversity. As we transition from the ancient world to the Enlightenment era, we encounter philosopher Immanuel Kant's profound meditation on life's value. Kant believed that the value of life was inherent in our existence and was not conditional on any external factors or circumstances. This perspective, often referred to as the intrinsic value theory, mirrors the miracle of birth. With over 130 million births worldwide each year, each one unique, and a testament to the inherent value of life. Interestingly, the existentialists, represented by philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Friedrich Nietzsche, contested this conventional understanding of life's value. They argued that life had no predetermined value or purpose. Instead, they believed that the value of life was a subjective construct created by each individual. Each person, according to existentialism, had the agency and the capacity to define their own purpose and carve their own path in life, reinforcing the idea of life's inherent subjectivity. All these varying philosophical theories, though distinctly different in their approach, grapple with the same complex question. What is the value of life? This question is not just a philosophical or theoretical inquiry, but is also at the heart of one of the most contentious debates in contemporary society, the pro-life versus pro-choice debate. Each side seeks to define the meaning and significance of life, when life begins, and what value should be assigned to it, especially in the context of women's rights and bodily autonomy. Today we will delve deeper into how Stoicism aligns with both pro-life and pro-choice perspectives. This ancient way of thinking can help both sides understand each other more. The fundamental question, what is the value of life, will continue to echo in our discussions, nuanced by other philosophical views. Our objective is not to take sides, but rather build empathy and mutual understanding, while cultivating critical thinking. This video may not have a definitive or universal answer. It may even seem overwhelming. However, it is designed to compel us to introspect, to reflect upon our beliefs, our values, and the kind of world we wish to live in. And perhaps in this reflection, you will realize that the value of life is not just about defending existence blindly and passionately, but rather about living consciously and compassionately, acknowledging and respecting the diverse perspectives that surround us. Indeed, when we dare to ask ourselves, what is the value of life? We might just find that the answer lies not in a single word or phrase, but in the journey of discovery, understanding, and growth that the question sets us on. In the words of Albert Camus, life is the sum of all your choices. This quote encapsulates the essence of our discussion, reminding us that our choices and actions significantly contribute to defining the value of life for ourselves. It is up to us, and it is first and foremost a personal value. Why? Because ultimately, whether it's through the lens of science or philosophy, the value of life remains an enigma, a question that challenges us, provokes us, and fuels our quest for knowledge and understanding. In the spirit of Stoics, let's accept this truth, and from there, welcome a dialogue between women and men of different opinions. Remember, this isn't just passive viewing, it's an interactive experience, an invitation for you to actively participate, sharing your insights. Stick around till the end. This journey promises not just knowledge, but a chance for profound self-reflection and transformation. Let's begin. Pro-life through a Stoic lens. Our life is what our thoughts make it, said Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. A powerful reminder of the profound impact of our beliefs and philosophies on our lives. Among these, the pro-life perspective, often rooted in religious or moral beliefs, argues for the preservation of potential life. This belief system, which we are about to explore, is one of the most profound and deep-rooted ideological viewpoints in the world. Before we venture into the heart of the pro-life perspective and its philosophical alignments, it is paramount to understand the origin and essence of these ideologies. The pro-life perspective is fundamentally rooted in the belief that all life, no matter how nascent, has intrinsic value and absolute rights. This viewpoint is often birthed from robust religious beliefs or strong moral compasses that advocate for the protection and respect of potential life. It is not merely a standpoint on a particular issue, it is a philosophy that maps out a way of interpreting and interacting with the world. It shapes the perception of its adherents towards life, fostering a sense of reverence, respect, and responsibility. On the other hand, Stoicism, conceived in the fertile cradle of Hellenistic philosophy, primarily emphasizes virtue as the highest ideal. This school of thought advocates for a life lived in accordance with nature and guided by reason. It promotes the virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, encouraging its followers to foster these virtues in their actions and decisions. Stoicism is not just a theoretical philosophy, it is a practical guide for living a fulfilling and meaningful life. The alignment between the pro-life stance and Stoic principles is a fascinating intersection of morality, duty, and virtue. Stoicism, deeply vested in the tenets of virtue, aligns impeccably with the pro-life perspective. Virtue, in Stoic terms, is a synonym for ethics, and it advocates for a life lived in harmony with nature and a strict adherence to our moral duties as rational beings. This naturally extends into the duty of preserving life, which is a core pillar of the pro-life stance. The Stoics ardently believed in the intrinsic value of life. This belief is encapsulated within the concept of oikeiosis, a term that denotes the process of affinity or familiarity that humans naturally feel towards fellow humans. This philosophy upholds that humans are intrinsically predisposed to protect and preserve life. This sentiment directly aligns with the pro-life perspective, providing common ground between these two philosophies. Stoicism further aligns with the pro-life perspective in its emphasis on reason. It urges us to act according to rational thought, rather than being swayed by fleeting emotions or temporary circumstances. This principle directly aligns with the pro-life argument decisions that threaten potential life based on transient situations or emotional states. However, it is pivotal to consider the emphasis Stoicism places on individual autonomy. Stoicism reminds us that we can only control our actions and reactions, not the actions of others. This principle, known as the dichotomy of control, is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. When applied to the pro-life perspective, it posits that while we may hold a deep belief in the intrinsic value of life, we cannot impose this belief on others. The Stoic philosophy also embraces the idea of cosmopolitanism. The early Stoics were advocates of the notion that all humans belong to a single global community, advocating for mutual respect and understanding. This perspective encourages empathy and comprehension, even in the face of opposing ideologies. So the pro-life perspective, when viewed through the lens of Stoicism, is a multidimensional ideology. It acknowledges the inherent value of life, promotes rational decision-making, and upholds our duties as rational beings. It simultaneously respects the autonomy of others, fostering mutual understanding and empathy. In essence, the pro-life perspective, as seen through the lens of Stoicism, is not just about the preservation of life. It's about the preservation of life guided by reason, respect for individual autonomy, and a profound sense of duty. It's about acknowledging the inherent value of life, but also recognizing the importance of understanding and empathy in the face of differing beliefs. The pro-life perspective, as seen through the lens of Stoicism, hinges on duty, virtue, and the inherent value of life. Pro-choice through a Stoic lens. The pro-choice perspective, on the other hand, champions the rights of the individual, particularly the right to personal autonomy. As we delve deeper into this perspective, it's crucial to understand that the roots of this viewpoint are fundamentally intertwined with the Stoic philosophy too. Stoicism, stemming from the ancient Hellenistic periods, has always centered on the freedom of the individual. It is a belief system that encourages us to understand and appreciate the innate power that resides within each of us as individuals. Stoicism, in its essence, teaches us that our power as individuals lies in our ability to control our responses to the circumstances around us. This idea of control and personal autonomy finds a strong reflection in the pro-choice perspective. The pro-choice perspective emphasizes the importance of individual autonomy and the freedom to make personal decisions. It centers around the belief that every individual, specifically women, should have the authority to make decisions about their health, future, and overall well-being. This perspective argues for the freedom to make decisions about one's health, future, and overall well-being. The viewpoint does not merely advocate for the right to choose, but it also places great importance on the fact that one's body is one's own, and each individual should have the freedom to navigate decisions about their body. The core of the pro-choice perspective is personal autonomy, the fundamental right to make choices about one's own body and life. It is here that the pro-choice perspective aligns with Stoic teachings. Stoicism teaches us that our inner freedom, our ability to make decisions for ourselves, is the only true freedom we have. This philosophy encourages us to focus on what is within our control and to let go of what is not. In the context of pro-choice, this could translate to the freedom of choice in matters that directly concern oneself, such as reproductive rights. Moreover, does not advocate for reckless freedom. It emphasizes the importance of reason and logic in our decision-making process. It suggests that the application of wisdom and understanding is fundamental in navigating life's complexities. Similarly, the pro-choice perspective encourages informed decision-making. It supports the idea that individuals should be equipped with all necessary information and support to make the best decisions for their own lives. Pro-choice does not necessarily mean anti-life, a common misconception often associated with the stance. This perspective is where the essence of Stoicism comes in. Stoicism teaches us about the dichotomy of control, that there are things we can control and things we cannot. It asks us to focus our energy on the things within our control and accept the things that are not. This understanding does not diminish the value of life, but instead places the power to make personal decisions where it belongs, with the individual. In the grand scheme of things, Stoicism tells us that each person is but a small part of the larger cosmos. Yet it also emphasizes that each individual holds immense power within themselves, the power to control their own actions and reactions. This belief aligns with the pro-choice perspective, which empowers individuals to make decisions concerning their own lives. Thus, as we can see, the pro-choice perspective and Stoic philosophy share common ground. Both value personal autonomy, promote informed decision-making, and emphasize the importance of focusing on what is within our control. They both stress our inherent power as individuals and the value of our ability to make decisions about our lives. The pro-choice perspective and Stoic philosophy both advocate for personal freedom and autonomy, rooted in knowledge and informed decision-making. They both place the power of choice in the hands of the individual, emphasizing the importance of personal responsibility and control. Just as the pro-life perspective finds echoes in Stoicism, so too does the pro-choice perspective, particularly in its emphasis on individual autonomy and freedom. In the words of French philosopher and writer Simone de Beauvoir, "One is not born, but rather becomes, a woman." This quote perfectly encapsulates the essence of the pro-choice perspective, the right of every woman to make decisions about her life and her body. Balancing act. Other philosophical views. "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how," said Friedrich Nietzsche, a quote that resonates with the difficult choices we face in life. While Stoicism provides one lens to view this debate, other philosophical schools offer different perspectives. Let's start with existentialism. Existentialism is a school of thought that places the individual at the heart of all philosophies, emphasizing the individual's unique position as a self-determining agent, responsible for the authenticity of their choices. Central to this philosophy is the concept of freedom. In the context of the pro-life and pro-choice debate, an existentialist perspective might argue that the choice to carry a pregnancy term or not lies solely with the individual. Here the focus is on the potential parent's autonomy, their freedom to choose, and the right to shape their own existence. They believe in the primacy of personal decision-making, arguing that the unique circumstances of each person's life should dictate their choices. Consequently, this viewpoint might favor the pro-choice stance, acknowledging a woman's right to her body and her sovereign ability to decide for herself. Next, let's explore the perspective of utilitarianism. Utilitarianism is a philosophy that contends that the correct course of action is the one that maximizes overall happiness and minimizes overall pain. In the context of our debate, a utilitarian might argue that the greatest good for the greatest number should be the guiding principle when choosing between pro-life and pro-choice. Lastly, we turn towards deontology. Deontology is a philosophy that emphasizes duty, moral rules, and intrinsic rightness or wrongness of actions. A deontologist would argue that the sanctity of life is an inviolable moral rule, and that the moral duty to protect might outweigh considerations of individual autonomy or potential suffering. To sum up, these philosophical schools each offer a unique lens through which we can view the pro-life and pro-choice debate. Existentialism highlights the importance of individual choice. Utilitarianism underscores the significance of overall happiness, while deontology emphasizes the primacy of moral duties. Each perspective brings its own values, assumptions, and complexities to the table. Regardless of the philosophical lens one chooses, it's crucial to approach this debate with empathy and respect for differing views. In conclusion, the pro-life and pro-choice debate is multi-layered, with many philosophical viewpoints to consider. From the individual-focused existentialism, to the happiness-maximizing utilitarianism, to the duty-bound deontology. Each perspective offers a unique insight that enriches our understanding of this contentious issue. These different philosophies allow us to gain a more nuanced view of the debate, reminding us that there are no easy or one-size-fits-all answers. It's a testament to the complexity of human life and the challenges we face when to make ethical decisions. With a myriad of philosophical viewpoints, the pro-life and pro-choice debate becomes even more complex and nuanced. Finding common ground. Despite the seemingly insurmountable divide between pro-life and pro-choice, can there be a common ground? This question poses a challenge that often appears insuperable, especially in a society where these opposing views frequently spark debates, tensions, and sometimes violence. As we reflect on this exploration, it's important to remember that these perspectives, at their core, are not as diametrically opposed as they may initially seem. In the heat of the debate, we tend to reduce these complex viewpoints to mere slogans, overlooking the profound underpinnings that animate each side. However, if we examine these perspectives through a thoughtful, compassionate lens, we see that both sides are motivated by a profound shared respect for life. It's just that the primary focus of this respect differs between the two camps. The pro-life perspective, for instance, is guided by a profound reverence for the potential life of the unborn. Its advocates see every conception as a unique and valuable existence that deserves protection. With every heartbeat, every flutter of nascent life, they perceive an embodiment of infinite potential, a unique presence that adds to the vast tapestry of life. This perspective aligns with the Stoic principle of recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings, as well the universal spark of life that resides within each of us. The pro-choice perspective, in contrast, tends to prioritize the life, well-being, and autonomy of the mother. This perspective holds the belief that each woman possesses the right to make decisions regarding her own body and life, especially in the context of the complex realities that women often face. This perspective also aligns with the Stoic principle of personal, emphasizing the importance of individual freedom and self-governance. Drawing parallels between these perspectives and how Stoicism allows us to understand that each perspective isn't a standalone worldview, but instead a part of a larger conversation about life, respect, and autonomy. Stoicism, with its core tenets rooted in the pursuit of virtue, personal autonomy, and interconnectedness, proposes an empathetic and balanced approach to this often contentious issue. By encouraging empathy, understanding, and respect for differing viewpoints, Stoicism helps us perceive that these two perspectives aren't inherently mutually exclusive. Instead, they are different expressions of the same fundamental value for life. They represent different sides of the same coin, different perspectives on the same shared concern for life. In essence, Stoicism invites us to acknowledge the complexities and nuances of the issue. It asks us to understand that it's possible to respect the potential life of the unborn, while simultaneously respecting the autonomy and complex realities of the existing life of the mother. It reminds us that this conversation doesn't have to be a battlefield marked by hostility and antagonism. Instead, it can be a forum for dialogue, a space for understanding, empathy, and mutual respect. Underneath the surface-level disagreements and fiery debates, what we really find is a shared concern for life. Each side, in its own way, expresses its reverence for life and its many manifestations. And it is within this shared concern, this mutual reverence for life, that we find the potential for common ground. Through the lens of Stoicism, we find that both life and pro-choice perspectives share a common concern for life, albeit expressed differently. And perhaps, in recognizing this shared concern, we can find a path towards common ground. To close the conversation, we turn to the wisdom of Martin Luther King Jr. We may have all come on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. As we navigate this contentious issue, let us remember that despite our differences, we share a mutual concern for life.
If you're still here, you're exactly the kind of person we need in these discussions. So let's keep the conversation going. Drop your thoughts below, but let's keep it stoic, not savage. Basically, don't be an ass. And if you want more philosophy without the fluff, you know what to do. Click subscribe and smash that like button. It should be lighting up right now, because I know YouTube sorcery. Aight bet. Catch you in the next one.